Okay, so 1 year ago, I had a run in Super Metroid Any Percent that was really stupid, and pretty much everybody agrees that it was really stupid. uh,
Stupidly awesome.
well, I mean, yeah, it is awesome, but it's also stupid. Like, it's true. You know, it's true. Um, Thank you, Daldy, for the bits. I'm not going to be calling stuff like that out during this, because that's not what this is about. But thank you. Now, okay. So first of all, you should know Nia is on my lap. That's why she's not in her spot, because she decided that it's lap time. So she's here on my lap. But we're gonna watch this run, and I haven't watched it myself in probably close to a year, if I'm being honest. Maybe around like the low percent ice, like 4 for 4. That's probably when it was, actually, because I think you and I, Zoast, did a thing where we talked about that stuff. So maybe we did
all
that.
those runs.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's the last time I watched it. Obviously, I've been running Any Percent again for a few months, so I have fresh perspective on the way that the run is right now. So I want to look at it, talk about it. I don't know if this is going to be short-winded or long-winded. Zost is being a good sport, helping me out here. But yeah, I think we'll have a good time. Yes, Ostrich, you're just in time. So I'm gonna push play here. Zost, you can still see, right? Still see the...
On Discord? Yeah, okay, I just saw it move.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't moving for a little bit.
Cool. So first of all, like I said, I don't know like how much of a deep dive I want to do with this necessarily, but one thing that I keep wanting to do a video on, and I don't know when that will be or how I'm going to approach it, but I keep wanting to do a video on like some of the like quote unquote invisible things that go into these speedruns, just Super Metroid speedruns in general. Because a lot of the time, when I'm talking to somebody a little bit more casual or whatever, like they're watching the run and they're impressed, but they don't really understand a lot of like what makes it impressive. So like I kind of want to do something about that at some point, but I don't know if today is the day for that. That's probably like a really long thing. First thing I'm gonna note is, holy wow, my capture is a lot better now. Not that it was bad.
That's
but,
one thing
sorry, what?
one thing I'm interested in is if there's any like rooms or strategies that you see that you're like, whoa, I'm way better at that now after a year. Or,
Right.
significantly better or noticeably better. Doesn't have to be way better.
Yeah. Or like little things that I've changed. Like I'm curious, because I don't
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see. But yeah, so obviously I have to get a new world record now because this one looks like crap, and that's the rule. Is if you have bad capture, you have to beat that run. So that's the real reason. Those
I have to beat every one of my runs now. I have to get a 25.
You got some
Like,
good
this is
stuff.
bad. It's
You
all
got to
right.
get a 25 in game time.
Yeah. The
Let's
funny thing
do
is
it, dude.
that capture's not that great because I was in between like figuring things out.
Right. That's
Yeah.
like my worst nightmare. This is so
It seems to always happen to me, it feels like.
the quality on this is fine, to be clear, but it was before I had my new PC, because a big part of the funding the new PC was, stuff that came from this run. So a lot of the like encoder stuff was just set to lower settings. So it just doesn't look quite as good as it could, and that's okay. It's not a huge deal. Yeah, the heart rate monitor on this run froze, which is such a meme, but whatever. Sorry, what'd you say, Zost?
Yeah, my strategy is to have a pink explosion at the end to verify that my run's on console.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's gonna contest that. Okay, well, yeah. So there's a couple like pretty bad mistakes here in the like first part of the run. Not like awful, but you know, like that was kind of a bad thing that happened there in construction zone. But most of this is really pretty standard. Like you see these strats in pretty much every speed run of Super Metroid here to start. But
Here we go.
here we go. All right, so we're going into climb. All right, let's see what kind of pleb climb time I get in this run. I'm way better at climb now, that's for sure. It's funny because my average climb time has done this weird, like, it's on this weird curve. Oops. 12:18. Okay, so that's not bad.
12.
That's not bad. But like my first couple years running the game, like I was getting sub 12s every once in a while. And then I like really slowed down, and for a while I was struggling to get lower than like a 12.3x. And then the past few months I've been trying to
What
get
was
good
it?
at climb again. This run was a 12:18. So not bad.
No, what was the problem, or what was slowing you down? Did you
Um
figure that out specifically?
some of it was just okay. After the 2021 records, I really changed my approach to running this game in general. I was like, okay, I have to pull way back and focus on consistency now. Because up
Mhm.
until that point it was very much like play the best I can, like try to play the best I can all the time, like always go for the fastest strats, no excuses, blah blah blah, right? And like that's cool and all, but you get a run that's basically lightning in a bottle and then you try to beat that run and it's just miserable. Um so I pulled back and I started going slower in general, and then also just like mental health stuff and um medication stuff and controller stuff and like all sorts of things just kind of over time made me just kind of take climb a lot slower. Um and I did like I would try to practice it to get faster again periodically, but the problem was and is um if I practice that room for more than like 3 repetitions in a row, my hands cramp up so bad. Um and I mean you were just talking about
Yeah.
your wrist pain a few minutes ago. Like that's not something that you want to force yourself through. And so what that translates
No.
into is if I want to practice climb, like I have to take a long time to do it. I have to do it 2 or 3 times and then rest, and then do it 2 or 3 times and then rest. It just takes a long time. And at some point you look at your time invested and you're like, okay, am I going to spend 2 hours on climb trying to save an average of 10 to 20 frames or whatever? Or am I going to work on this other thing that keeps killing my runs? And the other thing wins every time. And so like it just got to the point where um I stopped worrying about improving climb and I was just worrying about everything else. And yeah, this any percent grind specifically actually is interesting because there have been a lot of things where I've been like, okay, I have been putting off getting better in this way or that way, and um it is time for me to kind of start putting effort into that stuff again, because at this point realistically like I'm trying to compete with Drewski's movement, and I'm never going to be as fast as Drewski is at this game, but I can be faster than I am right now. So that's
Yep, makes
yeah.
sense.
437 bombs is still crazy good. I've only been ahead of this run at bombs, I think 5 times or less since I started running it again, which was last September, so 4 months ago. Um but yeah, 437 is always really good for sure. And I remember getting that time when I was doing this run and being like, okay, I I should like focus in here. And then I, of course, immediately like mess up that bomb and stuff. Like it's just, you've been there, you know how it is. Like,
oh, absolutely. That's so on brand.
yeah.
Speedrunning.
So you're like, okay, sick pace, like let's lock in, and then you immediately make a mistake. You're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
One of the most underrated skills, I think, when it comes to speedrunning is being able to just let something like that go. Like in the grand scheme of things,
Sure.
it's 1 second, right? And yeah, I mean, it really sucks that happened, but like we're still 4 seconds ahead of my PB at the time. So like it's hard. There are some mistakes. Drewski was mentioning this last week. So sometime around like a week ago, I think, where there are some mistakes that I have had to learn to not let them just completely derail my mindset. One of those being in Meridia when you're entering Fish Tank on the way to Everest and you miss that jump and you just have to like fall through the door. Yeah. Like that, like it feels bad. It feels really bad to make that mistake. And one of the things that I've had to learn over the years is like feel the mistake and then just move on. You know, like you can just lock back in and it's cool. It's fine. So oh, I didn't realize I did the spin jump off the elevator in this run. I thought that was something that I hadn't picked up yet, but yep, I stole that from you. So all right, well, I'm not saving time there apparently. This is another thing that we talked about in Discord like a month ago. So I stopped going for the deboost here because
very minimal.
It's like if you do it optimally, it's a minimal time save. I was never doing it optimally, and I realized that I was never getting a missile from this waiver. And so I started looking at different things because the RNG in this room is normalized because of the hoppers. So these hoppers down here normalize the RNG. So if you kill the waiver on the same frame relative to when you entered, it's always going to drop the same thing.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
For this room.
Yeah. So so I changed the strat. I started doing a ledge grab up here instead. I don't remember if I actually get a missile here. Yeah. So I got a missile drop from this waiver, and that really helps. So this is the part where I'm going to talk about one of those like quote unquote invisible things that goes into running this game and this run in particular. I am already doing ammo management at this point in the run. Right now it's for Fantoon, but it's never going to stop. Ammo management is extremely important to any percent. And like I said, we're 6 minutes into the run. I'm already focusing on ammo management. So
not after Mother Brain 1, Zenny.
So yeah.
Excuse me, I've got a problem with your statement.
All right. Elaborate.
I already did. I'm just mean.
I already did.
Ignore me.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Okay, so we have 2 missiles. There was a period of time where I wasn't jumping through here so that I could avoid this damage so that I would have potentially full energy if we got a big energy from the waiver instead. And using that to try and get the Rayo over here, this guy. Try to get this guy to drop a missile instead. But it was a lot slower, and I realized that you can still kind of manip him to drop a missile. He didn't there. But again, like the RNG stays normalized after the hoppers. And so, you know, if you're playing semi-consistently, then you're still going to get like the same groups of drops from that Rayo as well. Just depending on, you know, a few things. But okay, so we're at 2 and 79. Okay, so the reason the 79 is important is because when you're full on energy, that increases the likelihood of getting a missile drop from an enemy. If it would have dropped an energy, the percentage chance of that energy gets divvied out into the other possible drops, which in this case would be either a nothing drop or a missile drop or a super missile drop. So 79 means what we're hoping for here is we're going to get 2 drops in this room. We're hoping for a big energy to get us up to 99, and then a missile from the second drop because we'll have full energy here. And the way that this works is, again, there's hoppers in this room, so the RNG is normalized. So you kind of do a normalized setup here. You kill this hopper with a charged shot, you release like right after this outcropping, I guess. So that gives us the big energy. And then you release your charged shot just before you run off the ledge here. And that will make this guy drop a missile. So now we're at 9. And pretty much we always want 9 or 10 here. Missiles. You can get away with 7. If you have less than 7, usually it's going to be 5, and it's still possible to deal with Phantoon, but there's a very high likelihood that you're going to have to do a second round. Okay, red tower. So this red tower is before I started doing Ripper Skipper. Yeah, so it's quite a bit slower than my average now. So that was a 7:46 room time. Right now I'm shooting for closer to 7 flat. This room is called Hellway, and it's also a room that I have adopted a faster strat on. So this is the slower strat. Faster strat saves, I want to say like half a second there. And then there's a strat called the Super Weave going down here, which is another thing that I am going for. I went for it here too, actually, but I messed it up. And that saves time as well. That's good to know that I messed that up there. Now I'm not going to be as mad when I keep messing it up. Be like, okay, well, that's okay. All right, 824 power bombs is pretty dang solid. I've had, you know, a handful of runs that were ahead at this point during the more recent grind, but little hiccup there. Not too bad.
Yeah, I'm 10 seconds ahead of your.
Yeah.
Before this, it must have had a kind of sloppy early game.
So the 4043 that I'm comparing against is interesting. I don't remember if it was the first 4043 that I got or the second one. It was probably the first one, but I got a 4043. It was a PB, and then I want to say the next day I got another one, and somehow both of those were slower than Drewski's 4043. So it was kind of a funny thing there. But yeah, it was definitely a nice early game to run against. Tied to the second, yeah. But Drewski's is like, it's like a low 4043, and mine was like a high 4043. So I want to go back here actually. So here we're gonna farm a crab right here. So the reason we farm this crab is because either it's going to drop you a big energy or a power bomb, and both of those are pretty helpful here. In this case, it dropped an energy, so that leaves us short on power bombs. It's not the end of the world. It just means, basically, if Phantoon scams us on power bomb drops, it makes the rest of the run harder to go fast. It's basically what that comes down to.
It does reduce lag on the power bomb explosion too, so it doesn't lose as much time as it may look like it does.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a very good strat.
Amounts of time because of the
So we got the CWJ coming in here. It's too bad. I really don't remember what my mindset was at all at this part of the run. I think I was probably just really trying to stay like locked in with this pace, because obviously it's a really good pace. All right, that's not too bad. I do that room a little faster now, but it's mostly the same stuff.
10:06.
10:06 entry. Is that what you said?
Yeah. yeah.
All right, so Phantoon. So up until this point, all of the any percent world records had 2-round Phantoons.
That's crazy.
Since, I don't know, how far back does that go? Like, I know when...
What do you mean?
When Phantoon first was originally a thing, 3 rounds were kind of the expectation there. Like when Behe did his first runs. But I mean, I have to
When is
imagine.
this?
So like when the route change happened, um,
I wouldn't say that 3 rounds
were they
were
not?
expected.
Because yeah, because I thought people kind of got better at
I wouldn't s
Dopplering.
I would say that they yeah, they did, but I can't remember for sure, but I
Okay.
don't remember 3 rounds being expected in that, but I could be wrong.
Well, I
I mean,
mean, it,
that'd be a pretty small period of time at the very beginning of
yeah,
it if it was the case, but,
yeah, for sure. Um,
like, in my conception, the last time 3 round was expected to you if you're gonna use that word, I would say, like, Hoda Ruby's time when he was doing, like, the like,
right.
the the charge ice wave spazer strat or
Yeah,
whatever.
that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it
But I
was
don't know. I mean, I
Fantoon was
could be off on the timeline.
he was just, he was 2 round for forever. It was like, yeah. So, we have a whole guessing game.
Well,
Go ahead.
the interesting thing to me is that 1 round has been known for many years at this point,
Right.
and for it not to be into any percent run until, like, 4 or 5 years after it was kinda known. I mean, it hadn't been really fully worked out. It's like we knew about it, but nobody really
Nope.
understood how to perform it
Right. Nobody
really
was
that
going for
well.
it because I mean, it's super volatile. And, um, if if you're not good at it and Fantoon disappears on your first missile in the first round, like you're guaranteeing 3 rounds basically. Like, so yeah, it makes sense. But I'm trying to think. So like I joined the community in 2017 and I remember like the topic would come up every once in a while, why don't people one round Fantoon? Well, because it's not viable or, it's not consistent or whatever. But I remember somebody linking Farrell got a 1 round in rotation. And I think it was practice, but he did. He got a 1 round in rotation back in like 2015 or something, like a long time ago. So people were doing it. People were doing 1 round Fantoons, at least in practice, a long time ago. And then in 2020, I started practicing it more in earnest, and Emmett started practicing it more in earnest. And then Emmett um, started hitting it in runs. He was the first one to get it in a run, I'm pretty sure. And he was doing it in any percent. And I was doing it in 100%. And
It says that was about 4 years ago when Emmett did that. I'm trying to find when Ivan did it in the practice ROM, 'cause that was a while ago, if I can figure that out, but
yeah. But yeah, it's like I was going for 1 rounds during my 100% 112 grind. And the ironic thing is that the run that ended up being the 112, um, it had to 2 round. It was a fast, I'm pretty sure. So like, I wish I could go back and approach that differently because I threw a lot of good paces trying to force 1 rounds to happen back then. And I'm not saying that like I shouldn't have been, but I think I could have approached it a little bit smarter. So, but it's okay. But yeah, 1 rounds at this point are um not like they're not easy, but if I don't get at least one in a day, like I know that something's wrong, kind of a thing, right? Um so anyway,
they're
it's
way
just
more consistent than I ever would have expected when that first was a thing.
yeah, and a big part of that was me figuring out like, oh, I'm not just crazy feeling like I'm getting scammed here. Like I tested out and I noticed that depending on, how you moved, sometimes more or less of a forward press was required to make it work. And the smaller the margin of error is, the less likely it is that a human's going to be able to replicate it. So, after that I started looking for like movement normalizations, and I think that was really the key, at least for me and for, at least a couple other people realizing like it's not just about the Doppler, like how you move matters a lot. So it's weird, but yep, I'm glad that I figured that out the way that I did because it meant that by the time I was doing this grind, like again, not that they're easy, but um it wasn't so stressful when I managed to hit one. Like top left, we have a counter here. So by the time I did this run, I already had 703 one round Fantoons in runs. So this one is 704. Now I have 770 or 80 or something, So like they just keep happening. But when I watched this run with Oates shortly after it came out, I remember him saying, yeah, by the way, like I'm mad at you now. I was like, what? And he's like, because now everybody's going to insist that you can't world record unless you one round Fantoon. But yeah, so one round fast. Now this was an off screen, and I won't take too much time talking about this, but notice that Fantoon flies off to the right, and then he comes back. Okay. So letting him fly away like that is like 2 seconds slower than if you don't let him fly away. But when we were doing these runs, there wasn't like you start with a max of 15 missiles. And in order to do a one round, you have to do 15, you have to do 2 missiles and then 2 more missiles and then 15 missiles and a super. And since we have a max of 15 missiles, that means you have to pick up missiles after the initial 2 and 2. So if we look here, so when I'm entering this room a lot of the time, if you're watching me do runs right now, I'll say like, okay, I need 3 missile drops or I need 4 missile drops or whatever. That's just me like locking it into my brain like, okay, after I shoot the flames at the beginning of the pattern, I need to identify how many missiles are on screen. So here we're seeing, I think there's 3 here. There's 2 overlapping right here. So we got 1, 2, 3, so it's enough. So I have 9 because I did 2 and 2. So now we're going to collect. Now we're up at 15. And now we can do this. In the most recent grind, I have figured out how to do on-screen one rounds in any percent with 2 patterns consistently. Those patterns being when Fantoon opens his eye up here. You can, well, technically you can do it on the slow pattern too, but there's usually flames in the way there. But yeah, so theoretically, we can save about 2 seconds on this fight if we get it right fast. Outside of that, every once in a while, I'll see a comment like on YouTube or something from somebody who's like, it's okay that you had a bad early game. You'll get a good Fantoon pattern and it will make up the time. I just have to kind of shake my head like, no, like the Fantoon pattern's as good as it is going to be already, basically. So, okay. So I get the one round fast. Go ahead.
The good thing about one round, like as far as it being required or not, is that 2 round. If you get a good 2 round, like fast, it's pretty close. But like it's
Yeah.
definitely world record capable to get it fast. Just 1 round is definitely a better strat if you can do it, and unfortunately, it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah. Thanks.
But
Thanks for bringing this up because this is actually something I wanted to talk about. So the whole idea behind one rounds in any percent is not time save. I mean, it is a little faster, but the bigger benefit to them is the RNG mitigation.
it's not like yeah.
Because yeah, if you get a fast and you handle both fasts on screen, that is, I think, 1 or 2 seconds slower than a one round fast off screen. And so, yeah, it really is a percentage thing. So we're
Get extra drops on the 2 round as well.
yeah, so that is another thing
You're
to
you're you're
consider.
you're you are more yeah, you're more likely to have a better loadout after Fantoon with the 2 round.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Regular missiles in particular will probably be much higher.
which is actually something worth pointing out here is this is an insane amount of regular missiles to have coming out of a one
It
round.
is.
This
It
is
really is.
actually pretty
I just noticed
crazy.
that. I was like, wait a second.
But
Yeah,
we paid for it with supers. This is a really bad super count.
that's true as well. That's true as
Um,
well.
but yeah, like the the thing about one rounds is a fast is a 6% chance. Okay. Uh, one round fast is a 25% chance, and a one round mid is also a 25% chance. So, if you get a one round mid, it's a couple seconds slower than a fast. But it's a comparable pace. So really, it's not about the time save; it's about the RNG mitigation. Like, are you hoping for a 6% pattern or a 50% pattern, right? And the more likely that you're going to get a pattern that's workable, the more paces you're going to get past Fantoon, the more runs you're going to have a shot with, blah blah blah. So yeah, you can world record with a
The
fast
less
or
stressful every pace is going to be.
right. Yeah. That's another good
I think
point.
that's a big thing that doesn't get. Yeah,
And I'd like you to talk about that,
I think it's.
if you don't mind here in a minute. But yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
you can still world record with a fast, a fast mid, probably a mid. After that, it's going to be really difficult. But yeah, talk about like the stress thing, because I mean, I never grinded for any percent record when I
It's
was
crazy,
banking
man.
on like good 2 rounds. So
It's crazy the difference one round makes as far as just when you get a sick pace. It doesn't necessarily. Well, if you're up to speed, like if I'm up to speed, if I'm really in the grind and I'm practiced and all that stuff, like um the one round definitely allows many more paces, and it's crazy how much different it feels when you consistently get paces. How less stressful it is to get a pace because when you know like this may not happen for another few days or another like week.
a month.
There's definitely or yeah, it's definitely much more stressful than if this could probably happen once a day or whatever,
Right.
like it could happen immediately again. I mean, you don't really need it feels like the the power's in your hands
Yeah.
more so when you can do it the one round because you don't have to wait for the game to allow you to have a pace, at least not to the nearly to the extent a 2 round sort of Fantoon is
Yeah, for
gonna
sure.
yeah.
So I mean, we've talked about my New Year's memes before, how like I, always seem to have good rounds on New Year's, blah blah blah. What's funny is, I mean, that actually started with you. I don't know if you remember this, but before I actually started streaming, one day, like I had like a bad New Year's Eve, and I woke up on New Year's Day, and I was like, I'm gonna have a good year. This is gonna be a good year. And I like went for a run in the morning and stuff. I get home from my run, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't feel like gaming and whatever. And I saw that you were streaming, so I just, start watching your runs. And I'm pretty sure you're running any percent. And I want to say you got 3 runs that were all fast. Like, you were just on like banger pace after banger pace, like all day. It was crazy. Um, and it's interesting to think about that because, when I was running 100% and I would get like a fast, for example, the first one was always the worst. Um, and then like if you get another one later in the day, like usually it's not quite as bad because you're already kind of like adjusted to the stress hormones or whatever. Or like if you, keep getting them day after day or whatever. But the same thing is also true where like if you start getting a lot of slows, slow mid, slow, the longer that goes on, the worse it is when you finally do get good patterns again. So at least
For
that's how it
sure.
was for me. So
Yeah, for the most part, that's true. Yeah, it's not like universally always true, but
right.
it's generally true. I think.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy how different it is. um okay, so this super count is really bad. And again, I already talked about this, but we've been doing ammo management for most of the run already at this point. So I get out of Fantoon, I get the 1 round fast, I'm like, wow, this pace is crazy. And then I see that I have 1 super coming out of Fantoon, and I'm like, oh, this run's probably already dead. Like, that sounds dramatic, but it's pretty true. Like, you have to get some pretty good luck here for this to work out. Okay, this room I've actually changed. So this room has 1 strat that I've changed, which is, I don't go for it every time, but I usually do. So this right here, this atomic, for a long time we were jump morphing and rolling under it. You can just like do a down grab on this ledge and then do a little hop under the atomic instead, and it saves like half a second. So that's something that I've been doing. So my average time now in that room is a 12.4x if I do the strat right, and that was a 13.23. So yeah, it's a little over half a second different now. Attic. This room sucks, but I think I played it fine here. Oh, we missed the double there.
Yeah, I'm surprised you used a super on the second atomic.
Let me look. Why would I have done that?
Of course, when you're doing 1 rounds, you probably like probably used to doing a strat like this instead of 6 missiles.
Oh yeah, so I main that because it helps me a lot get the double hit at the end. The other thing is, with 1 rounds, you usually don't have enough missiles to missile both atomics, and so for the sake of consistency, like instead of trying to like wing it depending on how many missiles I have, I just always main the super.
It makes sense. Yeah, consistency there.
I'm doing a different strat here now. It's slightly slower, but it gets this waiver farm as well. It's like 20 frames slower. And a lot of the time it drops you a big energy or a super or even a missile, and all of those are really helpful. So bowling, everyone's favorite part of the run, where you're like, wow, I'm on a really good pace and now I have to sit here and wait and stress out. It's cool. How do you handle moments like that, Zoast? Where you just have to sit and wait?
I don't really. For like this was particularly bad. I mean, it's not as late in the run. I feel like if this cutscene was later on, it'd be worse for me because I think how I handle it is just to do like bomb jumps and put my mind into the game. Keep my mind in the game that way instead of pulling back. But
so is that why you do bomb jumps at a G4?
I think it's partly the reason. Yeah,
makes sense. So this is a sub 13
it
gravity.
Doesn't really work for Mother Brain though.
Yeah, no kidding. that's risky.
That's one of the scariest ones for me is the Mother Brain cutscene. Like when you're on a good pace, a good pace, but you still need like a really, really good escape. It's like, oh my god.
You just have to sit there and wait and not overthink it. Yeah. So this was a sub 13 gravity. It was the first ever sub 13 gravity, and it also happened to be this crazy record run, which is crazy to think about. I have had two sub 13 gravs since. One was in December and one was today. So they're still really hard to come by, but they do happen. Now I don't remember exactly when, but I did end up hiding my splits shortly after this because it was just too much. I was just so in my head about it. I was like, okay, I can't look at this anymore. So
yeah, that stuff we were talking about is like, you probably get another pace like this in the next week. Well, that doesn't really apply anymore.
Yeah, no, this is for sure. Like, you only see these very occasionally. So
I think the way to deal with like a pace this good is like, just, I don't know, like you have to sort of realize that shit's gonna happen. It's gonna happen to this run, at least to some extent. So you have to just somehow you have to kind of ignore it. I don't know.
Yeah. So we usually have to farm those 2 Keck attacks. It sucks because it's way slower than skipping, but the guaranteed supers make it so it's almost always worth it. The only time I ever skip these farms is if I'm full on supers or sometimes if I have 9, because otherwise the math just makes sense to just take the time to farm those supers. So we did have to farm them here because our super count was so low. Is still so low.
Pretty standard though.
Yeah. What else? What else is coming up that we can talk about? This segment is deceiving in how difficult it is to go fast. Like, it's so easy to just bleed time in this segment and not even know where it went. That's why I called it easy segment. Because it's
Easy.
because it sucks. Because this segment is actually really hard. Like, it's
Yeah.
not dangerous. Like, you're not gonna die here, but it's just hard. Like, there's so many little strats that will lose you, you know, 10 frames here, 15 frames there, without you even thinking about it. So
Bleeding time is a great way to put it.
Yeah, this jump morph here is pretty cool. It was, I want to say I implemented it a couple months before this run, but it saves like half a second. So if we go back to the previous room, that's too far. That's okay. Let's watch this again. So I'm holding down and right on the D-pad here. So this is an interesting thing where you can kind of like buffer the first down press. So we jump and I let go of right and then I tap down and it does a morph into the ceiling here. And what that does is it allows us to lay a power bomb immediately when we enter the room. And the trigger to break this glass, the power bomb explosion has to reach this tile right here. And so it just makes it so that you can trigger the glass break a lot faster. And like I said, it saves like half a second or something. Oh.
Yeah, it definitely makes it quite a bit easier to
Yeah.
use that method. It's still doable, but
it's way harder if you're trying to double tap.
it's way harder, yeah.
Okay, so let's see, high jump stuff. Oh, I'm curious. I'm curious if I farmed this Nova coming out of here or not. So I've been a little bit more willing to farm this here since I've thought about it. Okay, so we did not. I probably would not farm it in this situation today either, but the biggest benefit to farming it is maintaining full energy, which gets you more missiles from the rest of these. But that was good anyway, so. My short hops seem better now than they were a year ago. I'm finally getting good at the short hops. All right, little mess up there. So that's a little bit of a time save in the current runs, getting that boost.
The fact that the bug farm is in this segment makes it really weird too.
Yeah.
As far as like, you know, what kind of time you get for the segment.
See if I fall off the slope.
So sometimes I think it's somewhat common to have a gold here where you just like have a ridiculous amount of ammo coming into the segment almost.
Right.
You know?
And then you don't have to bug farm
skip
as
a
much.
Farm. Yeah.
So this is interesting.
You still.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you still have to play really good.
Yeah.
Because the segment's not easy.
So for a long time, we were only farming one of these mini disc Giga, and I think a lot of people still do only farm one. I do a little stutter here so that I can get a power bomb off of both of them. And that is one of the concessions that I make. Is that the right word? For the strat that I do just before Lower Norfair. So we really want more power bombs here. And we almost never have enough here to justify skipping that mini disc Giga. It's a pretty short, pretty minimal time loss to farm the extra one. It's not nothing, but it's worth it for the power bomb.
Yeah, the time is really. I feel like the time is less of a benefit for skipping it rather than the extra missile or two.
Right.
But yeah, it's still very nice to get. I think I used to skip it because I wasn't good at doing a single missile on the second. You know, like I'd have to do 2 missiles almost.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason I think I started skipping it sometimes. I can't remember. Like I feel like I went back and forth between that back in the, when I was
Yeah.
running this all for so
Well,
long.
and if you do the quote unquote normal strat before Lower Norfair, you're always going to get enough power bombs anyway. But that also uses missiles. The older strat uses missiles, and at this point, we really want to save those for the Ridley fight. So
That's a good point. I like that point.
Okay, so Batcave. All right, so 2 supers. So
That's bad, man. That's not good.
Ideally, we want like 8 supers here. 7 is okay. 6, you start to feel kind of like, I don't like this. We have 2. So
yeah, when you're at 2 here, you're like, I don't know if this run's actually gonna make it, yo.
Yeah, like it's like I said,
it's in danger.
I had already just accepted that this run was dead at this point, which was really sad. It was really sad. I mean, look at the pace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I remember I was starting to mentally check out a little bit. I was like, well, that sucks. Oh well, like we'll get another one. But then
you just keep not getting supers on the way here in Upper Norfair, and just like,
right,
this is not good.
Yeah. So we got 1 super off that first farm. So I was like, yep, that's it, right? And then I get 4.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay. So like now we're suddenly back in business.
3 farm's still not great here.
3 farm is not great, but it was worth it.
Absolutely.
Now, if I had known that I was going to have 7 after the second, I would have just gone. But by the time I realized I'd already laid the other bomb, and like, anyway, at that point, like, what if you get 3 more supers? Like, it's just worth it to wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so these famous missiles that people made fun of me for so long. Why are you running 2010? It's slower. So, okay. So here's something really interesting. Grabbing these missiles at this time was not really slower. If everything went completely optimally in the run with the strats that were in this record, it was a little slower to grab these. Not a lot. It was like a couple seconds, basically. But as I mentioned earlier, after the 2021 grinds that I did, I started focusing really hard on consistency. And part of me focusing really hard on consistency was with these missiles. I was like, look, I'm not going to look at I'm not going to look at what's quote unquote optimal. I'm going to look at what's best on average. And what ended up being best on average for me was to just grab these, because it was more or less the same as if I didn't grab them. And it really helped the end of the game. And it made the Ridley fights a lot more consistently fast. So yeah, I started just really focusing on grabbing these every single time, and I'm glad I did. But you know, I got a lot of people arguing with me about it, which is kind of funny, just because of the way that this run ended up panning out.
Is it just me, or is there less of that these days, or people arguing about strats and like what's best, or you should be doing this or not?
Yeah, I feel like people are more accepting of others making their strat choices now than than they used to be. But I don't know. I don't know if it's a culture thing or if it's that it's less popular, or because like so many people are just focused on like randos now and stuff. But yeah, that is interesting to think about. I hadn't really thought about that very much. All right.
Zenny, why did Skittles hate me?
Why does Skittles hate you? I don't know. I mean, I
Yeah,
thought you
I
guys
don't
are
know.
friends, but
I did too.
oh,
That's
crap.
Zoast's fault.
Thank you, Dust.
Okay, so yeah, wave missiles, worth grabbing. The the main reason that I was grabbing them was for Ridley, but they're also helpful in Turian. So glad I grabbed those. Also, it's faster to grab them in game time, which is the main reason that I'm still grabbing them. That's right. I forgot to elaborate. So
That's
with
definitely way faster in in-game time.
With the strats that we have today, it's actually better to skip those missiles again, because you do save. I think it's like 5.5 seconds RTA in that room by skipping them, and the extra missiles make way less of a difference on Ridley with 5 X factors than they do with 4 X factors, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But ironically, I'm still grabbing them because my main goal with my grind right now is a 26 in-game time. So it's still faster for me to grab them. so yeah. All right. So minus 19.4. Pretty crazy pace. At this point, like we're already well past, oh, this run could world record. Because world record at the time was a 40:36 by Oats. Okay, so I did a pause there and I switched my beams. That is at the time it was a non-standard thing. I was already maining it. I think Drewski has picked it up as well. He does his pause here though. And the reason that we switched the beams early is because of this room right here. So if you have Ice Beam on and you need to farm these violas, I think these are the regular ones, right? These guys always drop power bombs like 99% of the time. And if you have Ice Beam, you have to shoot them twice. Or you use a missile, which again, we want to save our missiles for Ridley. So I actually came up with this strat all by myself, which I'm really, really proud of. But basically, you farm that top one, and then you KO through this one, and then you lay your power bomb. And the other really cool thing is that this short charge has always been really, really hard for me to do in the middle of the power bomb lag with the other strat. But for whatever reason, the lag frames that occur from the power bomb in this way, probably because of the KO, are a lot more manageable for the short charge. So we do the KO, we do the short charge. We have 4 power bombs. You need at least 4 power bombs here. And we do the lava spark into Lower Warfare. So good stuff.
I'm disappointed in Deer Force for having a viola enemy, but no cello enemy. No violin, no double bass. Like
That's a good point. That's a good point. We got to find those Deer Force devs and tell them where they went wrong.
This is the commentary you were looking for when you invited me to help with this.
Definitely. I think I need to work on doing that faster. That's still something I'm kind of slow at right there. Although I am faster at that Shine Spark. I'm curious. I want to see. I want to watch this. Oh yeah, I'm way faster at that Shine Spark now. Way faster being like a couple frames, but you know. It's funny because I remember a few years ago watching, I think it was you and Oats. I watched the way that you guys did that Shine Spark there, and I was like, holy crap, that's aggressive, because I was really worried about hitting the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now,
like if you go, the lower you go, like the lower you fall at the end too,
right?
So it's kind of nice that way as well.
Yeah, so I'm definitely more aggressive with it now, and it's cool to be able to see that. So. Yeah, I'm about 20 frames faster, worst room in the game now, which is cool. I don't know why, but turns out I'm just still getting better at the game, I guess.
It's funny that you were talking about this run as like we're in a realm here, like a not just beating world record, but like we have capability for much more. But to me, like in my mind, if I was having this run, I'd be like, oh, this is so cursed. This is cursed.
Yeah, it's funny because this run is both really incredible. Like this is probably the best speedrun I'll ever do. In terms of like where things were at the time, how good I was at the time, the strats that were being used at the time, all that stuff.
Just like being on this insane of a pace and finishing so strong is
right.
Really that is the thing that is particularly impressive to me when I see this run.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's not the first time that I was on a pace like this and I clutched it out. I mean, that happened twice in Hundo. But
Yeah. I mean, I would argue that I did it with my low percent ice run, because I was on the best pace I'd ever been on in G4, and then I golded,
yeah,
I golded Turian.
I remember that.
So that was
I do remember that. That was crazy.
That was pretty big. But still, I mean, like any percent's probably even more stress. Like you're way ahead of any percent world record. That's a little bit. That's it's a little bit crazier than I'm way ahead of low percent ice world record, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
But still,
it's different for sure. But yeah. Yeah, what else is there to talk about here in this segment? Okay, so we got a super there, so that's nice. It's always nice when you get a super from that key hunter, because like you can reasonably expect that you're going to get supers from the metal pirates, but sometimes they do just kind of screw you over. So the more you have going in there, the better. The other thing is that if you manage to get full supers off of the first metal pirate, it's much more likely that you're going to get all energy off of the second, which is really helpful here. Oh, really? Wow. I did the aggressive Kago here. I didn't realize that I had been doing that. I've been doing the other one. So, okay.
Roll.
So the normal strat here is to hit these spikes first for energy conservation and then Kago through here. You can just do a straight Kago, which it just kind of jumped around a little bit, sorry. You can do just a straight Kago, but it's way more damage. I think it's 50 damage compared to 15 or 16 or something. And if you do, yeah, that's interesting. Okay. If you do the second one, it fixes the door and you take another like 16 damage. So the energy difference isn't that much here, but this is interesting. I'm going to have to revisit this because that's actually, it's a lot faster in-game time. And that's my main thing right now. So I'm going to have to...
Wouldn't completely optimally you take a hit, you would just like run through the top pyre and worst room in the game and do that, and then just like do a health bomb spark. I know you were like messing with stuff like that.
Yeah,
You'd have to have insane drops from the pirates. Like you would need an insane drop from the second pirate in particular.
Yeah, so completely optimally, yes. And actually, there's a strat that I came up with a few years ago, where you can kill both pirates with
it, yeah.
You can kill both pirates with one shine spark, and it's really fast. But the RNG that's required to get the supers that you need, especially with the 5x fight being a thing and how important ammo is for that, it's just not... It's not a good... It's not a good thing to be that low on energy. The other thing is that it's not like if you're in crit here, you're not guaranteed to be healthy by the time you get to Ridley either. Like even with the first one being a health bomb. Dude, what is up with this sprite? I've never noticed that before. This dude looks like half of his body is missing. What the heck, dude? He's curled up so tight. Look at that. That's crazy. All right.
Hold up.
Nice game, Deer Force. All right, so we're full on supers. That's nice. All right. So this is an older strat for this room. I'm doing something different now, and it's faster, but also you only get one bug farm at the end. But the main thing here is that we're only trying to get up to 4 power bombs here. And for the new 5X Factor Ridley strat, you need 5 power bombs. So this is an older strat. So we have a little bit of time save here. And then this fight. Okay, so the thing about this Ridley fight is, in terms of a 4X fight, it's basically perfect. It's improvable very slightly and probably very inconsistently, but that's one of the things that was so cool about this run to me, is that I had been working so hard on optimizing the 4X Ridley fight, and this run basically got it. On this crazy pace here. So we do the first X Factor, the second X Factor, the third X Factor, one of those bonked, and then the fourth X Factor, and then we switch here. So I think we need 19 shots. That's 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, so one of those swoop patterns was kind of long. That was the only thing that really was bad about that fight for how many shots we had to do. So that was almost a gold. And the fight was a 63, which actually the fun tune timer is wrong here because of the pause. So that fight was more realistically like a low 65. But that's still really, really good for a 4X Factor fight, especially with a particle bonk the way that it was.
Can confirm.
Yeah.
I've never had a 65 in a run, I don't think. Only in practice.
Yeah. All right. So at this point in the run, I think I was trying really hard not to freak out, because I knew, like, I could not see my splits, but I knew that that Ridley fight was super good, and that realistically I hadn't lost much time since Gravity. Like, a lot of the time that I had lost since Gravity was RNG stuff. Okay, yeah, I should talk about that, Skettles. So an optimal 5X fight is going to be high 55 in a run, which Funtune would report as a low 54.
RTA?
RTA, yeah.
That's insane, man.
Yep, so it saves about 9 seconds over this run. So that's definitely the biggest time save that I have in the runs that I'm doing right now. So, but yeah,
like, I mean, that's like 15 seconds faster than what I'm used to, basically, back when I was doing this category.
It's huge. The 5X
huge.
Factor strat is insanely strong. And it is the main reason that world record still feels like realistic right now to me. If not for that, like, I would know that I could do it, but I wouldn't feel like it, like I could expect it necessarily. And it's not that I'm expecting, it's not that I'm expecting the record like tomorrow or whatever, but like it could happen realistically, right? So yeah.
I would think of it as like it just feels inevitable at that point, whereas it might not in other scenario.
Right. Well, and like you said, you know, it really is kind of a matter of, you know, you just patiently continue. Like, if you know what needs to happen to get the run that you want, and it's not that far outside of what you've done before, like individually, in terms of like segment performance or even in the case of like I've done this run already, right? Like that kind of a thing. Um, it really can get to the point of just being well, just patiently continue. Um, so that's what I've been trying to do. But the 5x definitely makes a big difference with that. So 5x factor Ridley it's been known for a while,
It's a
but
yes and no answer.
yeah, there were a lot of issues with it. There were power bomb farming issues. We didn't have a good strat to farm all 5 power bombs before Ridley. The strats that we did have were either really slow or really, really hard. And so you mess up. The thing about messing up in the room before Ridley is mistakes in that room just like compound on top of each other. So like you make a little mistake and instead of being like oh, I lost half a second, it's like there goes 4 seconds. Like it's so stupid. So I wasn't pushing 5x factor for a while because the strats to do the 5x factor fight weren't saving enough time to be worth it. I think I was averaging like 60-second fights instead of like 64-second fights. And it's in practice, I mean, and it's really easy to just lose all of that time save right before with the older farming strat. But yeah, we've come up with better farming strats and a better fight, a better flow to the fight now. So it's definitely totally worth it at this point. And again, it also makes the extra missiles, the wave missiles, less beneficial because with an optimal 4x fight, they were the difference between clutching it out or waiting another swoop pattern, and that's not the case anymore with the 5x fight. So this room sucks. It's an understatement. It's been giving me a lot of trouble lately, but went fine there.
That was reasonable though.
Yeah, that was a 1537, that's basically my target, like 15-3x. So that was good. I'm a little better at this room now, just ever so slightly. And okay, little mistake there. I came up with this normalization strat, which I'm pretty proud of. It makes the top guy, if you do it right, he always flies over to the right. I kind of messed that up, but he was over to the right, so he's out of the way. Good thing I had so much energy there. Gotten a little better at this too. I keep going too fast there on accident now, which is so frustrating.
Yeah.
This is all pretty standard stuff. I have found a semi-normalized strat to get a super here. But it's not 100% consistent or anything. And it's like 10 frames slower. So that's definitely a situational thing.
Main Street there? Business Center?
Yeah, Business Center. So I can talk about that real quick, just so it's in your brain. So this room, as we lovingly call Frog Speedway, has these little guys. These also normalize RNG, just like the hoppers do. And so anytime that you enter a room with one of these guys, the RNG value is going to be normalized. So if you take that and then you semi-normalize your movement here. So we do an early jump into an aim down to open this door, and then if you time the jump right, Samus will land kind of far here, and then you can bonk the door. So the normalized strat that I do is I just run through instead of jumping through the door. And then I hold jump and I do a buffered back spin.
Oh, so you're not doing it here.
No, this is an older strat. Sorry, it's all screwed up on screen. But
that looks awesome.
Yeah, so anyway, the backspin thing, and then you farm this guy, and then you farm this guy, and usually one of them will drop you a super if you do it that way. But it's not 100%. It's probably like 60 to 70% consistent for me right now. So it's really nice.
It's hard to normalize through like 2 or 3 rooms.
Yeah, but it's really nice that you can at least maybe get... Wow, that was such a big jump. What are you doing, Zenny? Like, if you're leaving here and you have 2 supers or 3 supers, like that one, the chance at getting 1 super there can be huge. So so this is another situation where I'm holding down and right on the D-pad, and it's to buffer and angle down to shoot this block. And you're supposed to do a short hop here, but I jump like into space there, so whatever.
Cool, you still got the Mog Ball.
Nice super drop from that Zila. All right, what's going on here? I don't remember this part of the run at all. That jump was so hard for me for so long. It's finally not stressing me out that much anymore, thankfully. So we're shooting into the floor here to kill some Kraid claws that are floating around down there, which reduces lag. Oh, I didn't do the iframe thing there. I guess I was probably worried about my energy, which makes sense. I've been more aggressive about that lately. Okay, 7 missiles, 6 supers, so this is good. You want at least 6 supers here. We have 6, so that's good. 7 missiles is a little dicey.
What's the energy you want, like here, like more than 120 or something?
So you can get away with, I think it's 94 or something like that. But that's gonna make it so that if you take a hit from Batoon, you're in health bomb, which is really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a good amount to have here.
I don't think for my strategy on Batoon that I can afford that.
So yeah, 2 missiles here is pretty scary. I messed that up.
Do you try to jump before the tube, or is it
no,
just
no, I just jump after.
That makes sense. More consistent, I think.
Yeah, it's so if you jump before, you usually end up doing that, like you go around the top platform thing, and I'm just really bad at platforming in that way. Like getting onto that thing from the left side and then going through the door, like it's anyway. So yeah, it is faster though.
It is one of those things that that I would go through phases where I would feel comfortable with it, or I would feel like this is impossible. So
right.
I get it. It's not the most comfortable platforming by any means.
Wait a second. Did I buffer a shot there? Hang on a second. Because I was trying to do this.
It causes...
Yeah. Okay. I need to relearn how to do that. That's really nice. Botwoon. The good pattern with the good kill that Zoast taught me. Thank you, Zoast.
You're welcome. Shout out Sadie for all the Botwoon strats as well.
And we messed that up.
Eddie took a lot of like the missile ideas I had from back in the day and refined them. I don't think I do exactly everything that Eddie refined. Like I think I have my own takes on some of his refinements as well, but yeah, he definitely worked on that and made it a lot better.
Yeah, Eddie, honestly, Eddie's so goated for stuff like that. Like he came in and he looked at a lot of strats that we were doing and he was like, why are you doing it this way? And he found a better way to do it. He's done that in like every category. that dude put in some good work in low ice. Like it's actually kind of crazy.
I didn't really keep up with it, but I totally believe that.
Okay, so Dragon. I am so glad that we have this Rain Dance X Factor now, because it's not as laggy as the other one, and it's so much more consistent than the other strat. Dragon used to be so stressful for me, and now it's like, there's a little stress, but mostly it's just like, do I need to shoot 5 missiles or 6 missiles? Like that kind of a stress, not like, am I going to lose my whole run here? Good fight. Good spike suit. Bad exit. So I actually time when I jump up to the door now based on the babies. And that way I'm not sitting waiting for the door like that. So I think it saves me like half a second on average, which is nice.
It's in my 2x Dragon video as well, I think.
The door escape? Or the
Yeah, like timing the baby. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I believe it though.
I think so. I can't remember if I actually explicitly put the explanation in the video or not, but
right.
I was doing that to like get my optimal times or whatever for that video.
I like how chat is already very attached. And like, you know what? I'm just gonna blame all the mistakes I make in Turian on that. You guys suck, chat. Why did you do that to me? Gosh. All right, that's good.
You can see chat, but not splits here.
Yeah. Well, right? No. I had everything hidden. I'm just looking at chat in the VOD, and you know everybody's like, I believe.
You could feel.
I want to believe
the energy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, it was kind of impossible not to. Like I knew I was on a crazy pace.
Right.
Yeah, 81 energy. I was probably worried about that. I don't know for sure.
I think I've told you this before, but hiding split. I did hiding splits for a bit too, and the thing that would annoy me about it is when I didn't have a run that was on pace, but it felt like it could be, and then I got like really nervous about it, and I looked at the run. I'm like, there was no use for me to be nervous. This wasn't even good. Yeah, it wasn't even worth worrying about. I got annoyed by that.
I can't start runs with splits hidden, but like once I know a pace is good, it's really a mental thing. It's like, okay, you know, do I hide them or not? I hid them today, and I'm glad I did. But
yeah, I mean, that's just my I think that's a very personal thing, whether you want to do that or not, or when you want to do that. So, like, I'm not saying my experience is an objective experience by any means.
But yeah, it's actually, I mean, look at this crap, dude. one segment where I lost time. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. That's actually crazy. And yet
40-12 best possible times still.
Yeah. And yet now, like, I'm finally to the point in the grind now where I'm consistently getting purple, or so purple means behind but saving time. I'm consistently saving time on most segments, not all in the same run, but like
they're not all red all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something to be said for that when you're going up against a run like it's this good, you know?
Yeah. So that's been nice. Cause like it's when you start seeing that, like, oh, okay, you know, I saved time on the last 2 splits here. I saved time on the middle 2 splits here. You know, you see that so many times over the course of a grind, and eventually you're like, okay, like I can see the pieces. Like I can see how this run can be beaten. It just has to all come together. That's the hard part. All right, nobody look. Nobody look. So that's going good. Oh shoot. Oh crap. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, Kojak. Okay. Oh.
Oh no.
So that's the worst mistake in this run, is that room right there. That's like 4 seconds. 3 or 4 seconds, I think. And then that was fine. And then
at this point you'd be worried about getting full on supers,
yeah. So I was a little stressed about that. That room was a little slow, not too bad, like half a second. And then I missile here because I was worried, and I'm glad I did, because we got 20 and 9, which if I was running 15-10, that would have been the end. So yeah. Interestingly, I don't remember being stressed out about baby skip, which I'm also to the point again now where I'm not super worried about it most of the time. But it is kind of weird to think about. So we get the 3 jump.
Sometimes I feel like that doesn't make sense sometimes, just like when you're super stressed or when you just kind of don't have that when you should or whatever.
Right.
Like, so sometimes it doesn't really make sense to me.
Yep. I'm doing something a little faster there now. I'm jumping over the dome. The thing is, to really optimize the strat to jump over the dome here, you have to shoot kind of early, but if you shoot too early, then the super won't even kill the door. But it still saves like
Oh, I thought you were
10,
talking about the
10
second
frames.
dome.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the one before the door. And then lately, I've been really struggling with Zeb skip, so I kind of scienced that out a little bit, and it's going better now, but... Mother Brain. Cooperative turrets. Oh, look at Namjee's in the VOD chat saying I deserve it. That's a very nice thing to say, Namjee's. All right, so yeah, we lost 4 seconds. Yeah.
That's so good.
We lost 4 seconds there. But compared to best possible time, we lost 7 seconds. And then, so interestingly, I thought this Mother Brain fight is pretty good, but I thought it was better than it actually is. And I'll talk about that here. I haven't been counting the shots, but I'll talk about that in a minute. What's up, Drewski? So we get good cutscene, which saves 4 seconds over not good cutscene, roughly. Excuse me, but then I miss a shot.
Did you say 4 seconds?
It's something like that, yeah. So yeah, I don't remember exactly. Well, it's based on how many cries a baby does, right? Which good cutscene is I think 4, and normal cutscene is 7, and there's like half a second extra in there somewhere, I think. Well, we can look. We can look right here. But I want to say every time I've timed it, it's close to 4 seconds, unless I'm just gaslighting myself.
I've never really timed it myself. I just was under sort of the impression it was 3, but as kind of a vague number.
Yeah, so that's 4 cries. It's 4 cries. So yeah, it's probably 3 to 4 seconds. What else is there to say? Well, Drewski, maybe what you're thinking of is 2 cries saves about 2 seconds over good cutscene. Yeah. So 2 cries is OP because it saves a ton of time over normal. But it also means that good cutscene is now bad cutscene. Because if you get good cutscene, you just have to sit there and deal with it. And then it's a time loss. What am I feeling in this cutscene? You know, I don't remember, but I saw myself wiping my hands earlier. And that's definitely something I do when I'm like trying to stay like fresh while I have to just sit there and wait. So I know I was nervous. I was really nervous. I knew it was world record pace. I did not think it was as good of a time as it ended up being. My reaction isn't in this version of the run, but it was completely genuine, and I also hate it. I hate the way that I reacted. It was so cringy to me, but it's cool. Like, it was genuine, and I can't hate on that.
I feel that, man.
You
Feel
have
like
great
watching like
reactions,
any of my.
Zoast.
Yeah, but I mean, like I'll cringe at probably 90% of them, or maybe all of them. I don't know. Not that they aren't genuine or anything. It's just I don't know. It's always weird listening to yourself.
Yeah. I don't remember what parlor strat I was doing. I just went for it. Okay. I've changed that a little bit. Just a little bit. But yeah, so there it is. The 4022. Now, when I looked at the time, I started screaming, right? Because it was crazy, crazy time. But also, I realized that it could theoretically be the 26. And Zoast, you were in the thick of your 26 grind with your in-game time route.
Yeah.
So I was genuinely like terrified that I had ruined that.
Yeah.
But yeah, spoiler alert. I mean, I'm running for the 26 now, so you guys know, like, this ended up being a 27 and 56 frames. So that was awesome. And then Zoast, you got your 26 2 days later, I think.
Yeah.
So
I remember getting
true or
YouTube.
fake.
I remember getting a YouTube comment was like, "Did Zenny push Zoast to get the 26?" Or like something like. It's like these have to be connected somehow, and they aren't really.
It's funny how that happened, though.
Yeah. I mean, because
Yeah.
I was even before you got this, I think I was doing. Was I doing the marathon already?
Yeah.
Probably.
And you
Yeah.
were, I mean, you had plenty of runs that could have been it. Like,
Yeah.
you were
I had a lot.
close.
I had so many close calls. It felt like for like a month or two.
Yeah.
But I was
So,
grinding like 5 to 10 hours a day during that already. So
yeah.
it is funny. I love how like sometimes these things do come in. I mean, maybe there is a little bit of inspiration in the air sometimes when stuff like that happens. But
It's solar flares coming off the sun, dude.
so
And that's what it
yeah,
is. Um
geomagnetic activity.
but yeah, like, it was really cool to me that that's how it worked out, especially because, like, we had a similar kind of cool connection with your first 27. Like, I did
Yeah,
my RBO run at
RBO run. It's
AGDQ, and then
yeah.
the same night you got the 27. Like, it was so crazy.
Yeah, that
Anyway,
was cool.
good
That
times.
might be my favorite of those coincidences, possibly.
Was the morphing intentional on Escape Room 1? Yeah. So it's funny you ask about that, actually, because I remember when I was first doing that and Zoast was like pretty new to watching me and he saw me do it. He's like, why didn't I think of that? so,
Wait, what now?
during the escape right here, um,
And that had to be a while ago.
yeah, it was a long time ago at this point, probably like 6 or 7 years. So we morph right here so that we can down back, or not even have to down back, but just
Ideally,
fall here and not bonk on this platform. It's not that much faster, but it is faster.
yeah. Ideally, you want to not have the door move as much as that, but
Yeah, but I just suck
then
at
lose
that
much
part.
time.
So,
I mean, I do too, but
but yeah. Yep. Anyway, this was fun. Thanks, man. Thanks for
thanks for having me.
yeah. I can't believe it's been a year. It's actually crazy. Like, just thinking
Yeah.
about that.
I mean, for me,
So,
what's crazy is hearing stuff like you telling me stuff like that that we like conversations we had like so long ago that
Right.
just completely forgot. Man, just remember how long we've been talking at this point. Kind of
Yeah.
puts that into focus for me.
We've been friends for a long time. And
Not as good of friends as now,
oh, Nia misses you.
but she's
Alrighty.
she's like the most witches cat I've ever met.
she's a sweetie. She's a good kitty.
She is sweet.
But yeah. Thanks, man. I guess, I'll wrap it up here. But I really appreciate you taking the time to talk through this with me. This is a lot of fun. We should do more
Yeah,
collabs soon.
it's an
But
honor, man. I mean, really, it is an honor.
cool. Thank you.